So we're grateful that you're here.
Awesome. Okay, I say we go ahead and get this party started. Hold on, I need to go to my group here so I can watch all the likes and everything. I love that. That's my favorite part. Okay. Oh, there it goes. All right. Okay. Awesome. Kimberly's on. She says, woot woot, I remembered on time this week. Good job. All right. So let's go ahead and share our screen. Bear with me here while I get it going. I love Facebook Live, you guys. Seriously. It's so dang fun. Okay. Oh, Andrea's on. I see Lori's on. Awesome. Okay, welcome to part two, right?
Yep.
Part 2 of Tame the Food Monster, and we're really glad that you're here. So we're just going to do a quick recap of last week for some of you, just to kind of get your heads back into that headspace again of where we left off last week. But we talked a little bit about why do we even want to be healthy, or why do we want to worry about any of this stuff, or why do we want to improve ourselves? And we talked a little bit about really viewing your life as an art project, viewing your life as art or as clay. And what you have here is you have raw materials that's ready to be molded. You can create anything that you want to create in your life, whether that's health, or whether that's a business, or whether that's being the best parent in the whole entire world, or the best spouse, or whatever it may be. If you're thinking of it from that angle, there's nothing wrong with you right now. You're not broken. You don't need to get fixed up, because too many times we go, man, I'm struggling in this area. Maybe I'm struggling with my health, or I'm struggling with finances, or I'm struggling spiritually, or whatever it may be, and we think we're broken, when really it's just we have this raw material. We're ready to be molded. We're ready to get out of our own way and do something really cool.
Yeah, and we went to a self-improvement seminar over the weekend, and there was a speaker there that part of this process, I loved what he said. He said, we live, all of us live life by chance or by choice, but no matter which way you go, you still live by choice. So even if you choose to live by chance, you're still choosing to live by chance. So, but you're just kind of tossing it out there and saying, oh, I'll get what I get, right? And what did we always say to our kids when we were little? You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. So always choosing the life that you want is far better than leaving it out to everybody else to give you what you hope you want, right?
So true. And just a recap of last week, we talked a little bit about our limbic system, or it. And hopefully some of you, a lot of you, hopefully did the homework assignment from last week with your journaling, with writing down really when you hear those thoughts that are coming from it. And you are not your thoughts. That's what we talked about last week. Just because you think it doesn't make it true. And we're really excited. I actually pulled on a couple of gals that we wanted to hear a little bit of their thoughts on what they heard this last week. So I'm gonna throw it over to Lorianne for just a second. I'm gonna unmute you, Lorianne. Okay, what did you find? What did you find this last week? Did you hear some thoughts coming from it or from your limbic?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised at some of the thoughts. Like, everybody else is having some, so you need to too. Like, that was a big one because I don't have a lot of support around the house. Well, he brought it home, so he doesn't care about his health. So then you don't need to care about your health. I was hearing those kind of thoughts for sure. Or, it'll taste good. It's okay. It'll be good.
Oh, yes. Okay, everyone watching, I want you to give like a thumbs up if any of these are resonating with you, or if maybe some of those were your thoughts as well. And then I'll go over to Jessica too. So Jessica, I'd love for you to share with us just a little bit about some of the thoughts or some of the things that happened with you this last week. I'm going to unmute you, okay?
Okay, great. Yeah, so Thursday night, we found out that my mother-in-law wasn't doing very well and that she was unresponsive at a center where they're taking care of her. And so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a lot of stress, and then Saturday night, come to find out she passed. And so Saturday, I found myself very emotional just because of the strain and the exhaustion of the time, of everything that's gone on. But it was really interesting. I really feel like this was a very valuable webinar for me to have watched before all of this happened, because I was able to tap in and realize that my limbic system was kind of starting to control me a little bit on Saturday. And I realized I wasn't feeling well with how I had eaten that day. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to bed early. I went to bed at 9:30 last night, and today has been like A+ client business. I mean, I just feel so much better today taking care of myself and realizing that is what I needed. I needed to rest my limbic system so that I could allow my PFC to give me some strength, my prefrontal cortex. So anyway, just even though she has gone to the next life, it's going to be okay. It's going to be great. And I'm just really excited to see how my mind was telling me, you're not good enough and you're not worth it. And well, she doesn't have to do dishes or laundry anymore. So maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should just give up a little bit and just eat whatever the crap you want. But no, I'm not going to do that just because she died. She wouldn't want me to live like that. So I found a lot of strength realizing that my limbic system was not being friendly.
Wow, Jessica. So first off, so sorry for your loss. I mean, that's a hard thing to go through. And I think a lot of times we think, boy, if life would just be easier and crappy stuff stopped happening, then I would just be really successful at everything in life. And the truth is that if that's what you're looking for, you're on the wrong planet, right? Like, we be living in a planet where there's lots of bad stuff that happens all the time.
So true. So true. Life is just going to keep on going. It's just how we decide what effort are we going to take to make it better, and what kind of action are we going to choose?
I love that. Thank you so much. I know that was hard for you to share, and we really appreciate your vulnerability, and that's a hard word to say, and being able to open up and share, because there's a lot of people going through a lot of tough stuff in their life right now, and that is tough stuff, and it's natural to be sad, and it's natural to have these thoughts that come up, but really, you heard that, you heard that voice, and you said, no, this is what I really want, and this will actually help me grieve in a better way too. So I love that. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Okay, so let's keep on keeping on here. So we talked about our limbic system, and I love how Jessica said your PFC, your prefrontal cortex, and how she took some care of herself and said, I need some help here, and I need some extra rest, and things like that. And a lot of times that's very intuitive.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that Jessica and Lorianne both talked about this. They didn't say this word, but the word is metacognition. We talked a little bit about it last week. That it's simply an awareness. It's your ability and our ability as the only creatures on the planet to be able to step back from our thoughts and observe our own thoughts and actually think about our thinking. So, it's interesting to me. This last week, I've talked to a lot of clients, a lot of coaches, We went to this seminar over the weekend, and there was a lot discussed about this. And I got thinking, for some reason, my brain went here, how much our brains are stimulated nowadays compared to 100+ years ago, where you didn't have an iPad to watch movies while you're driving somewhere, right?
You shouldn't watch movies while you drive.
I don't watch movies while I drive, but I listen to my kids watch them in the back and stuff. I can't tell you how many movies I've heard 100 times, but I've never watched them. But our brains are so overstimulated. 100+ years ago, people talked to each other. They had long periods of time in travel and during their day and stuff, where there was so much less stimulation, external stimulation, that they sat and they thought about life. They thought about each other. And nowadays, I've been really aware in this last week, since we spoke last week, that I've tried to take time out of my day to actually think about my thinking. And it had to be a conscious decision, because pretty much all day long, from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, there's something that wants my attention. So I made a conscious decision this last week to actually step back and just spend a little bit of time thinking about thinking.
Yeah, that's so key. And we're going to give you a treat towards the end today of a really cool thing that's going to help you strengthen that prefrontal cortex, kind of like how Jessica was talking about and Lorianne. And so be looking forward to that coming up in a little bit. Oh, this is out of order, so I'm going to skip that. So, and the last thing on review that we talked about last week is really nourishing your body, fueling your body correctly. And I loved how Jessica brought up sleep as well. There's so many different habits of health that help you to actually strengthen your, quote unquote, willpower, although we don't want you relying on willpower because it's exhaustible. That's why we're going to be giving you some other tips and tricks in just a minute here. But I'm really wanting to know, give me a thumbs up in the Facebook Live if this last week, if you were conscious, if you journaled, fueling your body 6 times a day, hydrating, drinking that water. Just give me some thumbs up if you're
getting adequate sleep,
right?
Stuff like that. If you're overly tired or overly hungry, you're going to have physiological triggers.
I'm seeing lots of thumbs.
Right?
You don't have to be perfect.
Yep.
This last week, but just being mindful of it, being conscious. That is the first step. Oh, I'm seeing lots of thumbs coming up. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Balancing those blood sugars. Like, there's physiological things that help you with your mindset as well. Okay. So are you guys ready? Are you ready for the meat of it? We like meat. That's
for
good.
The exercise, right? Because I think everybody in their mind, they want to be really fit, right? Some people don't love the exercise part that is required for fit to be really fit, but if they could have a life of fitness with a life of ease, most people would be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be stronger. I'd be more flexible, stuff like this. So we're going to talk about brain fitness, though.
And a lot of people in this group, on this webinar, are actual clients, Optavia clients. So you may have heard of Stop, Challenge, Choose. And if you haven't heard of it, that's okay, because we're going to explain it all and help you to know exactly how to utilize this powerful resource. And we're going to explain 3 words. So be looking for these 3 words: commitment, metacognition, and equanimity. So we're going to explain these. I know this is like a spelling bee today with the big words, but hang in there.
So stop. Perfect examples from Lorianne and Jessica about being aware. Being aware is one of the most critical steps to overcoming just functioning from our limbic brain. And first of all, it takes a commitment. It takes a commitment to our health. It takes a commitment to what we talked about earlier, just in self-improvement. And have you ever committed to anything in your life where you like burned the boats. There was no trap doors, no escape, hidden escapes or anything like that. It was like you were 100% committed to whatever it was, whether it was your health, perhaps a relationship, perhaps a job, kids, whatever it is.
I'll tell you someone who's usually committed is a parent at like 4 a.m. when the kid comes in with like barf on them or something, right? It's like, you have got to be committed to parenting at that moment, because guess what? Doesn't matter if you're sick yourself, or doesn't matter if you don't feel like it. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to get your behind out of bed and you're going to go clean some stuff up, right?
Actually, I'm going to be a little transparent here. After our first kid was born, we have 3. After our first one, the first time he was sick and he threw up everywhere, I was 100 committed to never cleaning up barf again, right? And I said, you know what, Amber, I will change every poopy diaper for the rest of this kid's life if you handle the barf.
But it's a good example, right?
Absolutely.
Or you get up in the morning, your kids are crying, guess what? You're going to get them out of their crib, right? Like, you're committed. That is 100% committed. Burn the bridges, burn the boats. You know, you're getting it done. And sometimes people go, well, you know, I don't feel like parenting, and so I'm forced upon that. I'm forced to parent because they're there. Really? Are you really forced to? Some people don't take care of their kids.
Well, and guess what? Like, sometimes we're imperfect, right? So we're super tired. Maybe we're sick ourselves. So we lean over to our spouse and be like, hey, can you get them this time and stuff? And you push the responsibility off. So maybe your commitment level wanes a little bit, but are you willing to recommit at that point? It's not like, oh, this one time I blew it, this one time I'm going to just give up and I'm never going to be a parent again, right? No, that's not how we are, because there's still that commitment level to what we're doing. Using our health as an example, do you make a commitment to your health? And we use this example oftentimes where you get a little flat tire, right? You get out of the car, you assess the situation. You don't get back in your car and carry a switchblade in your glove box and be like, oh, I'm going to carry a knife in my car, so when I get that flat tire, I'm going to go around and slash the other 3 because it really pisses me off, right? No, you don't do that. You assess the situation, you take care of that one flat tire, you move on, you go and get a new tire, put on whatever. You're not going to go flatten the other, right? So you just pick up and you carry on with life.
So let me ask you a question. What if you applied the same commitment level to your health that you do to whatever it was that you thought of when we asked you if you've ever been 100% committed to something in your life? What if you applied that same level of commitment to your health? What are your chances that you're going to be pretty successful, even if you just applied it for the next 24 hours? Let's just take it day by day. If you apply that same commitment level, it's like, it doesn't matter if you don't feel like it. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if the dog just threw up. It doesn't matter if they're whatever. It's Super Bowl. You just committed 100%. I mean, I think that your chances of success, they would be pretty high. So that's what stop is in the stop challenge choose. You're going to stop. You're going to really assess your commitment. You're going to create some space. Okay. What do I really want? What do I want to create? And instead of focusing on what you don't want, you're really focusing on what you're trying to create with whatever it is. And, really I'm putting it in positive present tense form. So, we're gonna give you an assignment to write this down later. But basically, saying as if it's now, and only using positive wording. So things like, I feel great. I have energy to run up the stairs, and I am an awesome mom that is active with her kids. I am medication free and feeling like $1 million. So it's now. You're saying it like it's now. And you're only doing positives.
So challenge, that's the next thing. When And this is part of metacognition, right? Because you're going to stop, you're going to notice it, you're going to step back and think about your thinking. You're going to take a deep breath, of course, because you really want to engage that parasympathetic nervous system. That's going to and something when you're breathing, it's really, really good to really notice and focus on your exhale, because the exhale is what actually is the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for the exhale, not the inhale. So a good way to do that is to take a deep breath and try to focus on having your exhale be 1.5 to 2 times as long as your inhale. So, and just take a moment for yourself. Think about what your challenges might be, what your thoughts are. So how many of you have seen this FedEx symbol your whole life, right? And how many of you have ever noticed that there is an arrow inside the FedEx logo?
Between the E and the X.
Between the E and the X.
Give me a thumbs up if you are seeing it now. Okay. I'm seeing some thumbs. Once this was pointed out to me, the interesting thing is I can never see the FedEx logo without seeing the arrow now. And the same thing happens when you start utilizing this concept of metacognition. That's our second word, by the way, because I said I was going to give you 3 words. That it really is amazing that once you start listening to your thoughts, so all week you've been journaling your thoughts, that now it's so much easier to identify them and right away. And guess what? They start getting quieter and fewer and far between. It's amazing. So really just utilizing this metacognition and challenge, it's life-changing, honestly. You have to keep doing it though. You can't just do it for a day and go, oh yeah, I heard my thought and okay, never mind.
You know, the interesting thing about this, when I started to learn about it, one of our mentors, she asked us this question, like, do you ever feel like you argue with yourself? And most of us in the room were like, yeah, all the time. And she's like, have you ever noticed that the voices are your own voices? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's creepy. And I went up to her afterwards and I said, you know what, I'm really, really sophisticated. I've made voices, right? And I've created other voices, like the little kid voice or the whiny voice or the old man or the really deep voice, like I'm being really stern and stuff. And she's like, that's weird. Like, you're really weird. But she's like, but it's still you, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's totally me. It's not actually somebody else speaking to me. So we might think that we're really sophisticated, like I did that day, but it's our own brain talking to itself. So just notice it, empower yourself. And the cool thing, where are you going with this? Oh, yeah, take a deep breath.
There you go.
And then, then recognize that these are really powerful statements to make in this moment.
So one of your homework assignments, in fact, is going to be to write this down. So if you want to screenshot it, I'm going to put it in the group though, so don't like furiously. You can write the notes. That actually helps you learn, but keep going here.
Yeah, so these are really important statements to make to yourself. I am not my thoughts. And then you say to that thought, you are just a thought. And this next one comes from 10 Scrolls written by Og Mandino. And he says, I will command and I will obey my own command. That you just became your own boss, right? A lot of kids, you hear a lot of kids, and I remember saying this, you're not my boss.
You're not the boss of me.
You're not the boss of me, right? You are the boss of you. So you get to be your own boss, and you get to choose your direction in life. And then this statement, I want to, I get to, I choose to. And the last one is, I will act now.
Well, and I don't want to go too fast over I want to, I get to, I choose to. Because guess what? How many times are we saying things like, I have to, or I should, I need to lose this weight. I really need to. I need to get it done. And guess what? That is not empowering at all. That's like someone else told you that you need to, or they're waving their finger at you, and it does not have the same power. If you can get to that place where it's like, I want to, I get to eat this healthy food, like, holy cow, this is amazing. This tastes so good. And I choose to. So many times people say, oh, come on, you need a donut. You know, you deserve this. And it's not only our own voices, sometimes it's other people's. And you say, no, you know what? I want to eat the salad. I'm good, but thank you. I appreciate that you're looking out for me. I choose the healthy choice. And what kinds of feelings do you think that would evoke? I'm going to bring on Lorianne again. So Lorianne, you're unmuted.
Hi.
What do you think? If you use these affirmations, like what kind of feelings do you think that this would evoke from you?
Well, I love it. I wrote it all down, and I want to start using it in my power time I do every single morning. It helps me feel, I'm like, wow, it's really powerful, and that I'm in control of my life. I get to choose, like eating all the fuelings and everything. I'm like, I'm choosing to eat this way, not, oh, I can't have that. I'm choosing to. So it's always being positive, which reprograms your brain eventually anyway. But yeah, you feel really powerful.
I love that, Lorianne. Okay, that was so key. You feel powerful. You feel confident. I heard confidence in your voice, like I have control, peace. I heard peace of mind in there too. Okay, give me a couple thumbs up or hearts on the Facebook Live if you feel like that's how you would feel as well. When you are deciding what you're going to do, you're mindful about it, and then you use these affirmations. And how do you feel when you actually follow through on that? And that brings us to choose.
So when you make that choice, and especially when you do this day after day after day, I'll give you an example. When I was in high school, even late junior high, I had a coach that really grabbed a hold of me, and he said, Jared, you could be a really good player. And he said, and he was a Division I college basketball player, and he wanted to get me to that point. I never played Division I or anything, but he said the difference that I saw in good players and great players was not necessarily even giftedness. It was their mindset. It was their confidence. And he said those players, they gain that confidence. He said confidence only comes one way, and that is repetition. And he said, I want to use free throws as an example. He said, if you shoot hundreds of free throws a day, and you get to the end of a game, fourth quarter, and the game's on the line and stuff, he said, you're going to be tired, and there's a lot of external things going on. You could have gotten fouled really hard, and you could be hurting. But you're going to increase your likelihood dramatically, and you're going to have confidence, and you're not going to feel the internal pressure if you've taken all of that practice. So in the period of about 8 years of playing late junior high through college basketball, I shot about 4 million free throws. And when I got in those games, even today, I don't practice free throws as often as I did 20 years ago because I'm in my mid-40s and I'll play city league basketball. But
I'd be like, go make some dinner. Don't be practicing free throws all day.
But I feel that confidence, and I miss occasionally and stuff, but I don't. The pressure is not so great on me because I have that confidence. And going back to that slide, we use this word equanimity. Equanimity is a very, very special peace of mind that comes from making and keeping commitments to ourselves. It comes from engaging in this process of metacognition, thinking about our thoughts, becoming more equipped in those moments to make decisions that will serve us in what we truly want from life. I mentioned his name last week, Rick Hansen, who is a neuropsychologist, and he uses this word equanimity in one of his books. And he says that from a neurological standpoint, that it is a protection and buffer for your brain that allows you to, amidst all of the turmoil and challenges and obstacles of life, it's this peace of mind that you can still rise above these obstacles, that you can feel empowered, that you, these other things, that you can mindfully choose, that you have no guilt over when you do choose something that is perhaps unhealthy. We have desserts. Yeah, we understand that a dessert isn't super healthy, but we intentionally choose those things at certain times that fit into a healthy lifestyle. So we have total equanimity or peace of mind amidst all of the temptations and triggers and things like that, because we've done this over and over repetitiously. And the more days you do it, the more equanimity comes to you.
I love that. So what happens when you are just right in the midst of it? Like maybe you are tired, or maybe you are facing really tough situations, and and you're saying you want to do the stop, challenge, choose, and you stop and you're taking a deep breath and you're hearing the voices that are coming, and you are stepping back from your thoughts and you're seeing it for what it is. You want to choose and make a good choice, but sometimes it's hard, right? Especially when you first start doing this. And there's a little technique that Nick Fry, the behavioral specialist with Optavia, shared in one of the previous Habits of Health calls. And this is what he said. He said, surf the urge. So first, don't try to fight it, and don't go, oh, why does this always happen to me? And oh man, this always comes up, and you start getting really mad, and instead just be peaceful. Say, oh, there it is. There's the thoughts. There's that urge that I'm having for whatever for that brownie, or to stop at the Sonic drive-thru, or whatever it is that is, unique to you. And everyone has these. And just realize that temptation is totally normal. Like last week, we talked about that limbic system, and it's there for a reason, to keep us alive, to make sure that the human race is still here in years to come. And what happens when you push somebody? They're going to push back, right? They're not just going to let you push them around. And that's how this voice is. You're just fighting it and saying, oh, come on, instead just surf the urge. Have you guys ever seen a surfer? The wave's coming, and you have a couple choices. You can go, ah, wave's coming, get away. Or you can surf it. You can ride it. And Gordon Bruin, who is a mental health specialist. Mm-hmm. Okay, make sure I say that right. He's done several webinars and events with our group, and he said, the thing about a craving is whether you feed the craving or not, it will go away. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so true. Because so many times when you're right in that moment, and you've got that urge, you've got that craving, it does not feel good. It's uncomfortable, right? It does not feel good.
Have any of you ever really craved something late at night and you're like out? We've done a lot of events locally in Utah, and sometimes those events will go until 9 o'clock at night, and by the time we clean up, it's 9:30 or so. And during the week, some of the communities we're in, they close down early, and we're hungry, right? And you go around, hustle around the city and stuff, try to find something to open. Nothing's open, right? And we end up going home and we end up finding something that's really healthy and stuff. And that urge, sometimes this happens. And in my younger years, I would go, same thing. Oh, I got to have a milkshake, or I got to have a cookie or something like that. And it wasn't available, right? And you end up going maybe home or maybe somewhere else, and a healthier option is there. And that other urge just went away.
Yeah. So really, it's like you have to be okay. We have a good friend of ours, Wendy Hendry, and she studied this a lot with, different addiction and things that are going on in our brain. And she was on a call with us the other day, and she said, she was giving a talk at our event. And she said, you have to just sit in the uncomfortable. And that was just so true. And it's okay. And just realize, yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's all right. I'm not gonna die. It's not gonna kill me. Because sometimes, those things can be rough. Those cravings, those urges to eat or to whatever, right? There's a lot of different things that people deal with, substance abuse or drinking, or, there's all kinds of different addictions. Your phone. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Have you ever felt like you're going to die if you left your house without your phone? Or if it has one of those little notification things and I have to push it, right? There's real addictive qualities that happen in the human brain, but it's okay. Practice this in different areas. If you have that phone thing, I have that phone thing sometimes.
We're in our 30s and 40s. We didn't grow up with cell phones, and we didn't die. We're still alive.
It's true. Look, just practice that. Maybe later on tonight, set a cutoff for your phone. And then feel that uncomfortable feeling that it's going to happen to me, because I'm going to do this tonight. It's going to happen. And I'm just going to be okay with it. I'm going to sit in the uncomfortable, like Wendy Hendry said. And I'm just going to surf that urge, like Nick Fry said. Surf the urge to pick up the phone. Surf the urge to go do that drive-through or pick up that brownie or whatever it may be. It will go away. Whether you feed a craving or not, it will go away. Okay, so this part I'm super excited about. So Lorianne, who has actually been helping us with this call the whole time, she specializes in meditation and calming your mind. And I'm not going to take her thunder away, but I asked her to come on and do a guided meditation and to tell us a little bit about, why would you even want to meditate, or what's that all about? So Lorianne, you are unmuted.
Wow. Okay. Hi. The reason why you want to meditate, there's actually been studies done that people who meditate have bigger frontal lobes. And it gives you an advantage over that limbic system. People who meditate are happier. They have less anxiety, less stress. You're just able to make better choices in your life when you meditate. And I always believe, for me personally, I'm a musician, and so I create the meditation music too. So when you add music to it, you're embedding your brain with these images, with these affirmations that will help you to create the life that you want. And so that's why I really, really believe fully in meditation, and I use it on a daily basis. So Amber, do you want me to go ahead and start the meditation?
Yeah, this is such a treat, because this is going to strengthen the part of your brain that's going to help you make these decisions. And so we want to just give you an example, or you could come back to the Facebook group and fast forward to this spot again if you'd like it. And so go ahead.
All right, perfect. So if you've never meditated before, don't worry. There's no wrong way to do it. I just want to ease your mind right now. And studies have been done that if you only meditate for 5 minutes a day, you still get the same benefits as if you were doing it for a longer period of time. So just starting with 5 minutes is perfectly acceptable. So today we're going to experience an easy but very effective way to decrease stress and anxiety, and then I'll guide you through a short visualization based on what we've learned tonight. So let's begin. I'm going to play some of my music by taking a few moments to simply settle in. Now, if you're multitasking, I ask that you put away whatever it is that you're doing, just put it aside just for a few minutes and give yourself the full attention that you deserve. Sit comfortably with your back straight, your legs uncrossed, and feet resting on the floor. Your arms and hands can be placed at your sides or resting on your legs. Allow yourself the opportunity to be here. For the next few minutes, allow yourself the space to just be. Meditation is the practice of being here, right in this present moment. I'm going to take you through a breathing technique called 4 square breathing or square breathing. This is a simple technique you can do anytime you feel stressed. By controlling and slowing down your breathing, your body's stress responses will naturally decrease and slow down. Square breathing is focusing on a controlled breathing pattern of 4 counts. 4 counts to inhale, hold for 4, 4 counts to exhale, then hold for 4, thus creating a square with your breath. Like Jared mentioned, if you are feeling particularly stressed, you can extend your exhale by 6 to 8 counts, and this will really help to decrease your stress even faster. But for our purposes today, we will do the traditional square breathing. I will guide you through this, but before I do, here are a few things to keep in mind. When you inhale or breathe in through your nose and making sure that your belly moves out. You're using your diaphragm instead of shallow shoulder breathing. And then when you exhale, do so slowly through your mouth. Are you ready? Let's do this a couple of times. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Very good. You only need 2 to 3 times of square breathing. This will help you to achieve a more relaxed state, to relieve tension and settle your nerves. You are more than welcome to do it more times than this if you need to, but 2 to 3 times is perfectly acceptable. And now that you're in a relaxed state, I want you to think about one thing you've learned tonight that you would like to start implementing right away. Maybe it's nourishing your body and fueling it correctly, or saying the affirmation statements every single day, or maybe mindfully choosing. Just whichever one really resonated with you that you would like to try. I'm going to guide you through a visualization where you see yourself as you've already created what you want. Our brains don't know the difference between actually doing something versus vividly visualizing it. Our brains believe that we have actually achieved it when we visualize it. The more you visualize yourself achieving the goal, the more likely you are to achieve it. Imagine yourself utilizing the tool or technique that you've chose every time you notice your limbic brain talking, or even before when you feel that urge. Take this time to become crystal clear and to feel as if you've already created what you want in your life. What do you look like? What sounds surround you? What do you smell? How do you feel when you use this tool or technique? What actions are you taking? And what is different in your life because of these actions? Why don't you take a moment to just breathe this in and to really feel it and visualize it. And truly feel as if you're experiencing what you already want in your life, and it's a natural part of who you are. Just take a couple of deep breaths. You are more than welcome to revisit this meditation anytime you need to create the life you truly desire. And our meditation is at its end. It's very short, but you may open your eyes and roll your shoulders and just bask in that feeling of truly giving your brain a treat. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, I love that. I feel so good right now. I just feel like cleansed. Like, I mean, what if we all started doing that every day? I mean, that would just make the biggest difference. The thing I loved most about what you did, Lorianne, was how you had us visualize taking the steps. Because so many times people will just visualize, oh, I just want to visualize myself thin and perfect or something like that.
Well, the thing that I took away from last week that was really just like a light bulb moment was when Jared was talking about being an artist and enjoying that process. You know, being a musical artist, like, you know, I love my music when I'm done, but it's the process. Like, that's what feeds my soul, is actually making it. I'm like, oh, I need to enjoy this process of working with my brain. And so we need to visualize all those steps and just know that, you know, one step is okay. And then we'll move on to the next step, and it's getting to that point because it helps our brains figure out what it is that we're supposed to do.
I love that. Too many times we are so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
We want perfection right away. Oh, I watched a webinar. I should be perfect about this, like right away, directly after the webinar, right? It doesn't happen.
I think highly successful people in all areas of life, they say the same things. That when they achieve this great success that really the world around them sees, what do? They go out and find the next thing to be successful at as part of a process. They're always in creation. They don't get there and just sit on top of their pile of gold, so to speak, whether it's a pile of gold with their health or with a business or with their family. It's like, what can I do to continue to create bigger and better health, family, business? Maybe it's a new business, whatever it is. Because what all successful people find out during this process, that the process, like what Lorianne just said, is where their true joy is. It's not in standing on top of the mountain, so to speak.
I love that. Okay, just a couple more slides here. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much, Lorianne. Okay, hopefully this is working there. Oh, no, I did the wrong one. Oh, well, you're going to get the gist of it. So make sure that you are tapping into the whole program here. Too many times people are only tapping into the feelings, or they are only tapping into just one portion, but tapping into your health coach, the whole community, hopping on things like this, Facebook groups, attending events if you can, utilizing your feelings so your body's getting the proper nutrition, reading in your book and the Habits of Health book, and just really utilizing the whole thing. It's just so important. And finally, let's see, I did this wrong. Let me try again. Hold on. I failed in this one, guys. Let me try one more time. It's that one. Okay. So your homework assignment, see, you too can do this. Anybody can do this, right? We all just fail together. Your homework assignment is continue your journaling for the next week and continue fueling your body intentionally and looking at your drinking your water and getting more sleep, like Jessica talked about earlier. When you're stressed or you're tired, or sometimes you need a nap, or sometimes you need to just give yourself a little more TLC. And then write down your equanimity statements. So just to go back real quick, let's go back to the statements. There it is. And say them. One of my friends did a video on this today, Liz, who's a certified health coach on our team. She said, say it like you're the mother bear, like you are just like in charge, like no one tells you what to do. You're your own boss, and I like that. So say it like you mean it. I am not my thoughts. You are just a thought. I will command and I will obey my own command. I want to, I get to, I choose to. I will act now. I think it's just so powerful. So we'll put those, we will put those statements in the group, and I'm excited for everyone to write those. Oops, I'm not gonna step over. Write those in your journal this week and use that as part of your daily meditation time. Take a few minutes like we did today to fuel that prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, and one other thing that I would encourage you to do is share it with other people. Make sure support only works at its very best if it's reciprocal. So finding those people in your life that know what your health goals are, know what all of your goals are, so that they can support you in those actions, but then also offering that support to them and to other people. I'm a social science nerd. That's what I got my education in at the university level. And in applied behavioral theory, they talk about knowledge retention. And to just simply have something dictated, I think I shared this last week, and just listen to a lecture, you only retain about 5% of information. If you see audio visual, see a video, or that's why we also put slides up so that people have a little something extra, so that multiple senses are being engaged. It's between about 10 and 20%. When you become an active listener or an active learner rather than just a passive learner, it exponentially increases that knowledge retention. So if you are participating like in a discussion with someone, with a health coach or with another person that you're just sharing ideas with, about half of what you're discussing is retained. But the moment you become the teacher and you start to teach those things to other people, whether it's your children, your friends, your local community, you retain upwards of 90%. So become the teacher, become the advocate for health, become the advocate for relationships, and teach those things to other people. And you, I love the words of the late Zig Ziglar, who said that when you help enough other people get what they want in life, you get everything you want in your life. So take that opportunity to go out and teach what's most important, most valuable to you, and you'll have everything that you ever want, and you'll truly be rich.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks so much, Lorianne and Jessica, for contributing today. We just appreciate you so much. Lorianne's actually one of my clients, so I feel like I learned just as much from her as she. I mean, that's the one thing about being a health coach, is that we're not perfect. We're more like, hey, we're buddies, that we're going to link arms and go down the yellow brick road together. It's like none of us are the master or the teacher.
Reciprocal support.
It really is. So call your health coach if you haven't in a while, and maybe share some thoughts that you had from this webinar. So thanks so much for joining us, guys. See you later.